Let's talk about Red Hat and where you all fit into this. Of course, you're striped across the public sector, you're striped across the private sector. Give us a state of the state as to what you're seeing from your vantage point.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right, Luke? Because the one thing that I hear consistently from everybody on this panel, sort of everyone that I'm talking to across government, is that the change is constant and faster than ever. And so we're really helping our customers adapt to that. And so some of the exciting things that we've been doing, obviously we were acquired by IBM back in 2018, 2019. What that has meant for us is that we've been able to exert a little bit of influence over IBM, some of the things that they've been doing. And so recently,
IBM love the tail wagging the dog,
teaching the elephant to dance. Right? There was a book about that. And so recently, IBM built what they're calling the Granite large language model. And what's great about that language model is that they can very clearly define all of the sources that model was built with, and they used all non-copyrighted data, or if it was copyrighted, they went out and got a license for it. And so that's really interesting. But more interesting than that is that they've now published that under an Apache 2 license. So it's fully open sourced, that large language model. And we're going to be shipping that as part of RHEL AI. It's going to be available on our platform, OpenShift. And so as you think about large language models, I could go to Granite or ChatGPT and I can ask it to, give me a dissertation on Abraham Lincoln. They could do a great job of doing that. But if I asked it to use some of the data within my data center to help identify securities fraud, for example, it might have a little bit harder of a time doing that. And the reality is that large language models, though incredibly intelligent, they're a little bit genericized. And so where we're seeing government agencies want to go is to get sort of their domain specific knowledge into a model. And so we've been working with IBM and IBM Labs to enable customers to bring their data into a large language model to train that model so that it has a little bit of a better understanding of what the knowledge workers within your agency has. And so the ability to bring that domain specific knowledge and that analysis to very specific problem set within the agencies is really the next step for AI adoption across all of them. That training process and that building and tweaking of models, as I'm sure Kashit knows, they've been in the business of doing that data analysis for 10 years, he mentioned. It takes a lot of work to get there. And the reality is, you start this process with a developer with maybe a workstation and some sort of an accelerator in that workstation, sort of testing and working. Maybe they're doing it on their laptop, but that really doesn't scale to an enterprise perspective. And so when it comes time to do the much larger model analysis, implement those models, those are largely massively parallel operations that we see running in the data center, which naturally means they end up often running on Kubernetes. And so building a Kubernetes platform that's AI knowledgeable, understands the back end of AI with partners like NVIDIA and others, and bringing that to a real enterprise approach to building those models and more importantly, to allocating the resources that are required. Let's be honest, these GPU type resources are not only very expensive, they're also very scarce in the marketplace. They can be very, very difficult to get a hold of. So as government agencies start to do that model training, having a platform that's aware of those resources and able to bring those workloads to that hardware just in time is also a lot of what we're focused on in training and then of course hosting those models once they're ready for production.